Welcome to the second part of the discussion on overview of government accounting. So we ended on the basic principles, the basic accounting and budget reporting principles in government accounting. So we already have introduced the Philippine Public Sector Accounting Standards and the Government Accounting Manual as the reference in making decisions on the classifications of the funds, the transaction, the financial transactions governing government accounting is based on PPSAS and the GAM, Government Accounting Manual for National Government Agencies. That is the number one reporting principle or a basic accounting principle. Second is the accrual basis. So gumagamit sa government accounting no accrual basis of accounting. So under the accrual basis of accounting, transactions are recognized when they are incurred and not only when cash is received or paid out. Therefore, transactions are recognized in the periods to which they relate. So kung expenses na yan ay related for December, dapat yan ay i-recognize as an expense in December. Kung yung income is referring to a January transaction, it should be recognized in January. So, accrual basis tayo. Third, budget basis for presentation of budget information in the financial statements. Meron tayong report ng summary of the budget and the actual amounts. So, therefore, nakabase ang disbursements on the amount of budget. Kasi kung magkano lang yung inapprove sa'yo na budget, dapat yun lang ang gagamitin mo. So, hindi pwedeng mataas ang disbursements mo compared to your budget. Okay? Kaya siya ay budget basis. For the revised chart of accounts prescribed by the COA. So merong separate revised chart of accounts under the government accounting manual. So yan ang ginagamit ng lahat ng national government agencies. So kung ano yung mga account titles na nandoon, ay yun lang din ang pwede mong gamitin with merong coding structure kada isang account title. Number 5, the double entry bookkeeping. So alam naman natin yung double entry bookkeeping. Number 6, the financial statements based on accounting and budgetary records. 7, the fund cluster accounting. This is unique in government accounting dahil in other hindi tayo gumagamit ng mga ganitong classification or fund clustering. The books of accounts are maintained by fund cluster according to the types of funds being accounted for as follows. So meron pong code yan. Kaya nga in the government if you are a government accountant in the future, ang usapan na lang diyan eh ano ba to 01 or 04 or 07 kasi alam na natin kung ano code yung sinasabing 01, 04, 07 na yan. When we say code 01, it means regular agency fund. Ano tong regular agency fund? Ito po yung ipinapasa every year under the General Appropriations Act. Yung for example 3 trillion yan yung dumadaan doon sa bicameral conference. Later on we will discuss yung buong budget process. So ini-introduce pa lang sa iyo itong mga terminologies na ito. So itong regular agency fund, this is the general fund na tinutukoy in the government na ina-appropriate every year. So ito yung regular agency fund kaya classified as 01. Kapag 02, this means foreign assisted project fund. Ano ibig sabihin ng foreign assisted project funds? These are government projects which are partially or wholly or partially um, assisted by a foreign debt. Kumbaga, nangutang tayo for this project. So, yun ay classified under the Foreign Assisted Project Fund para makita natin talaga yung amount ng inutang natin at kung saan napuntang mga projects ito. Para na rin ma-monitor natin yung amount of funds na kailangan nating i-accumulate to be able to pay for these types of foreign assisted projects. 03, special account or locally funded domestic grants fund. Anong ibig sabihin naman nito? Kaya siya special account because these are uh, yung kumbaga parang mga miscellaneous transactions. These are rare transactions in the government. Kumbaga special ang treatment nito. For example, funds related to the Malampaya, funds related to a special project by DepEd, mga ganyan. Funds related to special projects by the DENR, regarding the reforestation projects, mga ganon. So these are special accounts that are locally funded and domestically granted. Kapag 04, these are special account, foreign assisted foreign grants fund. Sir, ano pinakaiba nito dun sa foreign assisted project funds na under 02? Because this is also foreign assisted. These are special accounts also which are funded by foreign foreign institutions or foreign government uh, in the form of grants. Kasi yung foreign assisted projects kanina, these are indebtedness o mga utang yan. Pero itong special account foreign assisted foreign grants fund, these are normally uh, grants or donations from other the foreign government or foreign institutions. Ganyan. 05, internally generated funds. Ibig sabihin nitong internally generated funds, um, yung the government has, every government agency has, upon approval by the DBM has and the Congress ay pwedeng gumawa ng mga revenue generating programs or projects. So lahat ng related doon sa internal generation of that funds ay pinapasok natin under 05. 06, business related funds. This is accumulation of funds related to the auxiliary functions of government agencies. When we say, ano ibig sabihin ng auxiliary functions? Kapag auxiliary, ibig sabihin niyan ay parang extension. Hindi talaga yun yung purpose ng creation mo as a government agency pero engage ka in that. So yan ay ina-approve din, ha. Hindi lang basta-basta maggagawa ka ng business related funds. Should be approved by the DBM. So for example, the Department of Education engage in the in public service or in the performance of academic work and teaching. Yun ang kanyang main purpose. Pero kapag halimbawa, meron siyang mga hostels, dormitories, mga ganong klaseng operations, hotel operations, cafeterias. So lahat ng related dyan, those are classified as auxiliary functions at yan ay nagge-generate ng income, nagge-generate yan ng funds. So lahat yun ay business-related funds. Dapat iniipon under 06. Okay. 07, these are trust receipts. Ano ibig sabihin ng trust receipts? Lahat ng government agency ay pwedeng makareceive from other government agency in trust. So halimbawa, merong project ang DSWD and then DepEd. So pwedeng from DSWD magbigay siya ng funds to DepEd for this particular transaction or project. So pwedeng under trust receipts fund. Yan, anong ibig sabihin nun? Yung nakaka-receive o yung trustee ay kailangan i-account niya yan separately at kung ano man yung mga funds na matitira dyan, dapat ibalik niya doon sa trustor. So, mga ganong transaction. So, it will depend on the nature of the transaction between inter-agencies. Basta ang logic lang diyan sa trust receipts is yung relationship is a trust. Ini-entrust yung funds sa for this particular item na gagawin mo, i-accomplish mo. Then yun doon mo lang pwedeng gamitin yung funds na yun. Okay. Look at meron tayong example. For example, the separate accounting books, journals, and ledgers and budget registers shall be maintained for regular agency fund. Another separate accounting books and budget registers shall be maintained for foreign assisted project funds, and so on. Okay. So there are some items, yung qualitative characteristics of financial reporting under the government. Information reported shall meet the qualitative characteristics and attributes that make information useful to user. One, yung understandability ay itong mga succeeding items na to ay na-discuss na sa iyo under your conceptual framework and accounting standards. Relevance, materiality, timeliness, reliability, faithful representation, substance over form, neutrality, prudence, completeness, comparability. So I think that would be for your reference na. Okay, let's proceed with the components of the general purpose financial statements. Wait, balikan nga lang natin ito. Baka meron kailangang i-emphasize dito. Okay. Normal etong mga items dito, yung qualitative characteristics on the financial reporting in government accounting, this is essentially the same as lifted in the conceptual framework ng GAAP natin. This is specifically identified under PPSAS 1, GAM for NGAS Chapter 19. So I will be providing yung GAM natin for NGAS in our classroom para makita mo yung items na yan. So bakit niya in-enumerate yan? For emphasis, para makita that we are still complying with the GAAP. Uh, yung mga basic concepts related to that, kasi yan ay ina-apply pa rin natin in the formulation of the rules and regulations and in the execution of it. Okay, I think wala naman. So let's proceed with the components of the general purpose financial statements in government accounting. Essentially, item A to D at yung F ay the same. Financial position, performance, changes in equity, cash flows, at saka yung notes to financial statements. What the difference lies on the yung report na statement of comparison of budget and actual amounts, yung SCOBA na tinatawag nila in government. Ano ang pinapakita dito? Dahil nga merong tayong mga budget na ina-approve by the legislative body, ay dapat i-compare natin yung budget versus the actual amounts, kasi hindi pwedeng mas mataas yung actual amount mo compared to your budget. So yan. Later on, we will have, I think, a sample of this, yung SCOBA. Statement of Comparison of Budget and Actual Amounts. So yan yung I think I have to emphasize this. Remember, this is just an overview ha. Pinapakita lang sa iyo lahat muna ng yung overview, and then tsaka natin pupuntahan lahat ng detalye on the succeeding chapters. So what are the elements of the financial statements of a government financial report? The same pa rin, the assets as defined here. We will not look at it. Tingnan mo yung in-identify niya yung control and then the benefit, the condition for a past event, how do we when do we recognize an asset, when it is probable that the future economic benefits will flow to the entity and it has a cost or a value or a fair value that can be measured reliably. So in-identify lang dyan. Also, we have liabilities. Liabilities are defined here. Equity, the net assets or equity, this is the residual interest. So, meron din tayo on our financial performance, yung revenue and then expenses. So, pinakita lang din dito, the revenue, the definition for the revenue funds comprise all funds derived from the income of any agency of the government and available for appropriation or expenditure in accordance with the law. Expenses are decreases in economic benefits or service potential during the reporting period in the form of outflows. So essentially, yung definition, lahat niyan, revenue, liability, expenses, assets, yan din yung definition on your conceptual framework and accounting standard. So pinapakita niya na although this is a separate industry, this is government accounting, we are still conforming with the basic concepts related to the account titles, yung expenses, assets, liabilities, among others. I think that would be the end of chapter 1, the overview of government accounting. Please proceed with the next video for the budget process. So sisimulan na nating identify kung uh, paano binubuo yung budget at paano ginagasta yung budget in government accounting. Thank you.